everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Kiana Janae, and today I'm going to talk about my labor and delivery story. So I gave birth to a baby girl, Mark. Oh my god. I gave birth to my baby girl May 28th of 2018. She was 5 pounds, 12 ounces. It was a pretty easy pregnancy. I gained 25 pounds, which isn't too much. It was the perfect weight, but my baby had to be induced a little bit earlier at 37 weeks because I got a late ultrasound, and basically my placenta was giving out. They did measurements, and around her abdominal area it measured a little bit further behind. So at that point, when your placenta gives out, which is not abnormal, but when your placenta gives out, the baby has to come out so they can start getting nutrients and things like that, because it could be a little bit dangerous. I know at that point they were monitoring my blood pressure, and they said that if my blood pressure had gone up at my next appointment, I would have to go right then and there. So of course I was a little bit anxious about that, but other than that, it was literally the most perfect labor. She was actually born Memorial Day, and it was crazy because I went in Thursday for an appointment, and I got my induction date for Monday, and I'm like, oh my god, like, is this really it? But I was scheduled to be at the hospital around 9 o'clock because I think 10 o'clock was my time. I went in the hospital. We drove there, just me and my husband, because I don't live in my hometown right now. Currently stationed away from home. So it was just my husband and I, and since it was Memorial Day weekend, it was way too expensive for me to even expect my family to be able to make it. And with the whole inducing situation, it's like, since it was my first baby, they really didn't expect her to come. So I just told my mom and his mom just come afterwards, like, because I'd rather them be there just to help me out, like I can toughen it out. And obviously it was completely emotional, everything that I went through, having to do it by ourselves. But to get back to the delivery day, I went in there, and like I said, it was around like 9 o'clock. We stopped by Chick-fil-A. I know we did, but I cannot remember if I ate or not, because I was thinking about that last night, because if I was being induced, I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to eat a few hours before then, but I think I ate something. I don't really remember, to be honest. Everything is kind of a blur. That's why I really want to make this video, just so I can like brain dump everything. I went in, and they got me all hooked up on an IV. That was the first time in my life that I've ever had an IV, so it was a little bit weird. Got me in my fluids and stuff, and then they were going to give me they checked my cervix and everything like that, and I was like maybe like 1.5 centimeters dilated already, and that was just from previous weeks. Maybe I was 3, I don't remember, but it was something like really low, and everything was still intact. But since she was having these issues of her abdomen being small and her being on the smaller side, because they told me that she was on the smaller side already, and they said she was like on the 13th percentile, and I was like, what the heck? Or no, the 3rd percentile, and I was like, okay, well, get this baby out of me so I can get her some milk. But let's get back on track here. They gave me a test dosage of Pitocin, and Pitocin is the drug that's supposed to help jumpstart that labor process and releases those hormones. But since she was small, they gave me a test dosage, and they explained it to me as there's gonna jumpstart 4 contractions. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then after they did that, I got the contractions. I was hooked up to the monitor, so they were monitoring and measuring my contractions, and it felt like the Braxton Hicks contractions, just really tight and just like dull pain. I went through it. It wasn't anything I didn't experience before, so I was like, all right, cool, like this. And I was so used to Braxton Hicks contractions, I was like, yeah, this is, labor's gonna be easy. We're just gonna, whatever. However, she did extremely well with those test doses of Pitocin. So then they took some peel and they put it inside my vaginal canal in order to thin it out. And I believe that's what jump started that. Maybe it's like, I don't know, like noon at this point or 11. Like, I don't know. It was like later in the day because I was getting all comfortable, had my FaceTime on. I was FaceTime my friend Taylor, and like Joey was, calling people back home, just letting them know what's going on. We just going to get comfortable because the doctors told me that I was going to probably be there for 48 hours since it's my first baby. So as soon as they thinned my cervix out, I was on FaceTime with my friend, and then all of a sudden, like, I felt something warm down there. I was like, what is going on? And then, like, I'm literally watching, like, pee come out of me. I'm like, am I peeing? What is going on here? And it was just, like, the strangest sensation because I couldn't control it. It was just like, what the hell is that? And it was kind of scary because I'm like, did my water break? And I swear, like, maybe 10 minutes after that happened, well, immediately we called the nurse in, and I was just like, hey, I think my water broke. I'm pretty sure it did because I wouldn't just pee on myself like that. And they were pretty skeptical. They were just like, well, I don't think it would be. That's a little bit weird. And so she went to go get a swab to test it and send it to the lab to make sure it was like amniotic fluid so they could, like jumpstart this process or whatever. But I swear 10 minutes after that, that's when it got insane. I started getting the contractions, and these weren't like Braxton Hicks. Like, I seriously felt like my body was being ripped apart, and I'm like, oh my god, like, this is it. And I'm like, Joey, get the nurse. He's like, what? I mean, I don't know where they are. I'm like, go get the damn nurse. I am about to die. And like, prior to me going into labor, I had somewhat of a birth plan, especially when I went on the birthing tour. I was planning on, walking around with the IV and jumping on the ball, just bouncing on the ball, just to help naturally, engage the labor process and stuff. But honey, when those contractions started, they tried to put me in this ball, and like I was kind of bleeding too. They put like this little sandy pad thing on the ball to protect it, and then like I'm like bouncing, but I'm like, I could not bounce. I was gripping on Joey just like this, and I'm like, this is impossible, like, get me off of this, get me back on the bed. And I'm like clenching, and so they're like, okay, yeah, that was definitely amniotic fluid, your water definitely broke. I'm like, okay, that's very apparent. I like, hell, obviously, come on. And then like, the contractions are coming faster, quicker, longer. It is just like, it's hell. And they're like, call the anesthesiologist. And I'm like, all right, great. About to get this epidural. And of course, I'm like nervous about it. I'm like, okay, I need it, but like I wasn't really thinking too hard about it until they came and she started explaining to me what's gonna happen. She said it's gonna be a burning sensation. You have to be still. And obviously I wasn't born yesterday. I obviously know the effects of having epidural done, how important it is to be still, the effects that you can be permanently paralyzed if anything goes wrong. But obviously I was willing to accept those because I was not doing a natural birth whatsoever. So basically, for my pain, so let me explain. I had 2 microdermals in my back, so I had my back dimples pierced. So I'm used to having, pain directed my back. But as long as you're kind of like clenched and not worried about it, I think you're fine because you're not seeing this huge needle in your back. And so she was explaining to me, it's like a needle, but they put like it's like an attachment or something so they can just keep on putting the medicine in you. And so there's going to be something in my back for a while. So I was like, okay, whatever, I do not care, just come on. And so I asked if I can just like hug on Joey like that, and they were just like, no. And I'm like, okay, like I've seen Teen Mom, 16 Pregnant, all these little ER emergency medical shows, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. But the doctor is like, I'm like holding on a doctor, hold on Joey, and then they have like this pillow, and the anesthesiologist, she was And I hope you're still watching because this is my baby Bella. Bella. She is 7 months old now. She's my princess baby. My miracle baby. You say hi? Hi. But here's my baby. She's born 5 pounds, 12 ounces, and now she's like 15 pounds now and 25 inches long. So, thanks for tuning in.